In this lesson, we will learn about Azure Bastion host. First, we will learn about the remote access using public IP to Azure VMs and its disadvantages. Then we learn about Azure Bastion host for remote access and its benefits. After that, we will deploy the Azure Bastion host and use Azure Bastion host to remote access to our VMs. Finally, we will conclude our lesson with the review questions. Let's analyze this network diagram to see how we can use a public IP address to allow remote access to a VM in Azure. As you can see in this diagram, we attach the public IP address pubip01 to mazpdc01, which means mazpdc01 is directly connected to the internet. With this current setup, mazpdc01 is wide open to the internet, which means from any computer connected to the internet, we can access mazpdc01 via any ports and any protocols. Now, to limit to only remote access, we can associate it with a network security group and limit to only the port 3389, which is the default port for remote access. This can be considered a remote access solution in a temporary non-production environment. However, it allows bad actors to perform push force attacks from any location, and the public IP address increases threat surface, costs, and management efforts. To see how it works, we will connect from my laptop to mazpdc01 via its public IP address, and from mazpdc01 we will connect to mazpfs01 via its private IP address. To connect, first let's verify the IP addresses on mazpdc01 server. As you can see, DC01 server has two IP addresses. The private IP address is 10.0.0.4 and the public IP address is 74.235.232.80. Now let's get back to the virtual machines and open the file server. As you can see, the file server only has the private IP address 10.0.1.4. Now, from my laptop, which only has the internet connection, in order to remote to this system, we have to connect to the public IP address of the DC01 server. So let's open the remote desktop connection. And we type in the public IP address of DC01 server and click on connect. Here we type in the password for the ITL admin account and click on OK and click on yes. As you can see, we logged in. Now let's open command prompt, and here we ping the private IP address of the file server 10.0.1.4, then hit enter. As you can see, it is not pingable because of the firewall configured on the file server. Let's open the remote desktop connection on the DC01 server. And from the DC01 server, we connect to the file server via its private IP address. So here we click on connect and we type in the password for the account ITL admin, then click on OK. And we minimize this windows and click on yes. And as you can see, we logged in. So from my laptop with the internet connection, we remote to the public IP address of the DC01 server. And from the DC01 server, we connect to the file server via its private IP address. In a real production environment, it is not recommended to use public IPs to connect to Azure VM. Instead, we should use Bastion hosts because Bastion host servers are designed and configured to withstand attacks. Bastion host servers also provide RDP and SSH connectivity to the workloads sitting behind the Bastion or the workloads in the peer VNet. So with Bastion host, the user with internet connectivity can log into the Azure portal, and from there they can connect to the Bastion host, or they can connect to the Bastion host directly via the internet, and from there they can RDP to a server in Azure. Similarly, they can also SSH to a server in Azure. Let's deploy a Bastion host. To do that, we need to click on Virtual Networks and open the VNet and click on Bastions. Here we need to scroll down and click on Deploy Bastions. And it is creating a new Bastion now. The process usually takes about 5 to 10 minutes. And that's it, the Bastion has been created. Now let's use Bastion to connect to the VM MAZ-PDC01. To do that, in select a VM to connect to, we need to change to MAZ-PDC01. As you can see in the connection settings, we can choose either RDP or SSH protocol. In this case, it is a Windows server, so we have to select RDP protocol, and it automatically fills with the default port number for RDP, which is 3389, and we can select the keyboard language. In this case, it is English US, so it looks good. Now, in the username, we type in the username ITL admin, and in the password, we type in the password of the account ITL admin, then click on connect. And here we allow, and as you can see, we logged in. Now let's open command prompt and verify the server name. So here we type in host name. As you can see, we are logged into MAZ-PDC01. Let's conclude our lessons with the review questions.